Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. So we have a new character creation system that's going to be added to this universe online. Right now we are on the test server. Normally when something gets added to the test server, roughly 2 weeks later, it gets added to the live server. So let's get this party started. So here you can see the new user interface. It's quite different from the older one. I have mixed feelings about this because with the older interface, you could tell that it was pretty much done by artists. Here it kind of looks like an interface that's been done by engineer. Also, it kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the game, but I assume this is only the first step into changing the game. People have been asking and asking and asking for a graphics update, and obviously they are not going to update the entire game all at once. It seems that what they are going to do, and they've been doing that for a while, they are updating the game one little piece at a time. For example, the NPCs. They've been upgrading the NPCs slowly but surely. For example, we just got a new Batgirl model in this universe online with the new DLC. And whenever they do that, they upgrade the model across the game. We got a new Wonder Girl model as well. And now here we have a new character creation. So I would assume that eventually they will also change the UI in the game to match with this UI. Again, this kind of looks like something that's been done by engineer as opposed to something that's been done by artists, which is the only real complaint I have, which is not really a complaint. So here we have some preset characters that we can choose. You can create a Batman type character, a pre-made Batman type character, and you can see the versatility at the bottom. So here we have Wonder Woman. Obviously they went with the classic characters, Superman. No Superman emblem, I'm so disappointed now. The evil Joker, Cersei, so obviously they start with the mentors. And then we have Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, Martian Manhunter, Steel, Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, the Evil Bane, The Flash, Beast Boy, Deathstroke, Terra, Static, Green Lantern, Sinestro, Atrocitus, Captain Atom, The Spectre, Firestorm, Mera. No, that's it with Mera. Also, you will notice something that made me very happy. They did give us a whole bunch of new slimlines with this new character creation. Obviously, we are going to customize our character, so let us do that right now. So obviously, we can choose between male and female. We're going to select the male. So we still have the 3 body size, large, spry, and athletic. Usually I'll go with athletic by default. Large when we have a bigger character like a dark side or something like that. For spry, I have to admit, I really don't like using this one. I could say I guess the smaller version for a Robin type character, but I have to admit, I don't really like it. So let us go with athletic, and we can choose the height, so tall, medium, small. So let us go with medium. Obviously we can choose between hero and villains. Evil villains. Let's go with hero in this case. And there's the personalities, so we still have pretty much the same personalities. Powerful, serious, primal, flirty, comical. Oh, and that's it. I do have a tendency to go with serious, so let's do that today. So of course we can choose our mentor. That didn't change. For those wondering, the mentor doesn't matter all that much. It will give you a few different missions as you level up to level 30. But after level 30, it doesn't really matter which mentor you have. So our abilities, the sorcery. So again, we have all the powers, gadgets, sorcery, mental, nature, fire, ice. So these are pretty much the free-to-play powers. Afterwards, once you reach munition, electricity, quantum, earth, celestial, light, rage, water, atomic. For those, these are paid powers. So you will have to either purchase the powers or you will have to be a subscriber. Let us go with quantum. That's pretty much my default choice. With each power, you have a description. So you can see complexity standard. Not sure how they evaluate the complexity. Depending on your playstyle, you may find some powers more challenging than others. Although they do mention that in this case, this is a power where you can play either as a DPS, damage, or you can play as a controller. Obviously, other powers will allow you to play as a damage and tank, or damage and healer. And they have a small description, manipulate gravity, warp time, and bend the laws of physics. It's a fun little bit, that doesn't really say anything. For the damage roll, they do mention the power interactions. The controller roll, they mention group power recharge, weapon combo buffs, or enemy debuffs. If you're a new player, that probably doesn't mean anything to you. I made a bunch of videos about the controller rolls, so I would suggest go watch one of the videos to get more information. Although I'm probably overdue to make a new video, I'll try to do that soon. So we selected our power. Now let us select our weapon. We have dual pistols, rifle, and blaster, the bow, brawling, martial arts, one-handed, two-handed, dual wield, the staff, the shield. All the weapons are free to play except for the shield. You have to purchase the shield. Also here we can see they have some complexity added to it. How they evaluate that depending on your playstyle, and the complexity might be different. Also, they mentioned dual pistols, and when I started playing DC Universe Online, I started using dual pistols with my Phantom character. And there's a lot of combos you have to use with dual pistols, so I'm not sure I would classify it as simple, but maybe that's just me. But here they do mention the strong and fast long-range combos. So yeah, we do have a bunch of combos with dual pistols. I'm not sure I would call it strong. Also, if you use dual pistols, I would advise against using a power that has a lot of combos. For example, the Green Lantern power has a lot of combos. When you add up the combos of the Green Lantern powers with the combos of the dual pistols, that's too much. You get into a combo overload, and at some point you don't know if you have to go into dual pistol combos or your power combos. Personally, I kind of like to use end blasters for various reasons. So let's go for that today. And then you can choose your movement. So we have flight. Flight is the more convenient power of them all. It allows you to go get some collections or briefings in hard to reach places. But one of the drawbacks of flight is that it is very slow in combat. You have acrobatic. A lot of people will use acrobatic because it's a bit easier to get away from enemies with acrobatic. You'll use your grappling hook in order to be able to get away, and you will be able to use that to quickly get away from enemies. But one of the more popular power, especially for tanks, is super speed, because you can move around a little bit faster. And there is a skimming. Skimming is an alternate version of flying. You pretty much have all the same abilities as flying. It's just that the way your character flies is a little bit different. Sadly for skimming, you have to purchase skimming or you have to be a subscriber. So let's go for skimming today. So there we go. We pretty much customized our character. So let us go next to appearance. So we can customize the costume, or the color of our costume, or the color of our skin for that matter. So we can customize the color of the skin, the hair, the eyes, the makeup, and the color palette. Not sure why we have only 3 colors. Nowadays we do have 4 color in our color palette. Doesn't really matter. So here, this is one of the changes also they made. We used to have a slider that we could slide in order to be able to select the colors we wanted. Now it would seem that what we do get is a whole bunch of swatches. So you use the swatches that's closest to what you want. I guess it's going to be a bit easier for people to use, but the sliders did give us more options to be able to customize our character. But very often people would be confused by that. They would ask you for the color code because they were not able to reproduce the color you were using. So it's going to be a mixed blessing, I suppose. It's going to make selecting a color a bit simple, but sadly you will lose a bit of freedom in order to really customize your colors. So the same for the hair, and the same for the eyes. And the makeup. Let's not forget the makeup. And of course you can customize your costume, although the skin and the hair are included. So we still have pretty much the same skin: human skin 1, human skin 2, and human skin 3. Glowing skin, the lava skin, the rock skin, the plant. So pretty much all the same skins we had before. And for the hairstyle, I think we pretty much have the same hairstyle we used to have. So we have the afro hairstyle. I love the afro. When I was a wee lad way back when, I had very strong hair and very dry hair, so if I would let it grow, I'd pretty much have a big afro like that. The memories. Of course, we do have various versions with the beard, the goatee. Here we have the bald with the beard, because if you want to be bald, just choose none. But here we have bald with the beard. Oh, and the tight perm. So that seems to be a new one they've just added. Of course, they gave it blue hair, of course. I usually go with the texture by default. I never realized that there was only the beard and the sideburn for the texture. Doesn't really matter. So let's take a look at the head style. They seem to have all the head style we used to have. They've added a new one I didn't really notice. Although they seem to have tweaked some of the names. Here we have the ocular domino as opposed to the full domino. It doesn't really matter. Let's check the emblems. So we seem to have pretty much the same emblems we used to have. Let's go for the shield emblem. For the chest, they did add a whole bunch of new chest style. So we can see the ancient panel slimline, ancient accent slimline. Of course, we still got the older chest pieces. They've added some stylish streetwear. So that was an unexpected surprise, getting new slimlines. I'll make a video about those slimlines specifically, so don't worry if we didn't take a good look at them. For the back piece, we do have a few new capes. Although it might be crazy, but even the full cape seems to have a new texture. Now let's go for that new cape here. So of course the hands. We seem to have pretty much the same hands we used to have. Although again, they seem to have changed some of the names for some reason. That doesn't matter. So the waist. Again, we still have to seem pretty much the same waist style we used to. So let's stick with the techno. So obviously we do have the leg style that matches with the new chest pieces. So let's go with this one. And the boots. Again, we seem to still have the same style we used to have. So no big changes there. Oh, actually, we do have a new style, the heeled style. Why am I not surprised? And they've added also the tight height boots. With heels, of course. I usually go with those boots, but let's be a rebel today, no boots. So we pretty much selected the appearance of our character. Don't worry, we're still going to be able to change the colors. It'll probably be even easier to change the colors inside the game than trying to tweak them here, so don't worry too much about the colors at this point. And it would seem that all we need now is our name, and we're good to go. Obviously, you cannot select iconic names. It's sad, but that's how it is. So as you can see, if you try to select something like Batman, it says name invalid. Or even Cyborg. Cyborg might seem like technically a generic term, a generic science fiction term. But it's also the actual name of the DC character Cyborg, so not an option. Names like Spawn are not allowed. Also, you have to know that in DC Universe Online, the name filter is pretty much a living, breathing entity that evolves over time. You will look in games, sometimes you will see in game characters that do have Spawn in their names, but these are probably characters that were created way back when. Because sadly these days, if you try to create a name with Spawn in it, it's not allowed. So I'm pretty sure there's another character called HHH Spawn HH, and still the name is invalid. So even if you have Spawn somewhere in the name, it's sad, but you can no longer do that. So yes, you will see characters in the game like Shadow Spawn or Battle Spawn, but those characters come from way back when. At some point, Spawn was added in the name filter, and you can no longer use it. Marvel would be another example of that, and the same with the Avengers, sadly. So the game will tell you if your name is invalid, if your name is already taken, but if your name is available, you will see the little green check mark appear, and then you're good to go. So at this point, all we need to do is select play, and here you will have a few options. You can decide to skip to combat rating 100, and that will drive a few people crazy. Already people are complaining about the CR level boost. They're saying that it's ruining the game or something like that. So once they see that you can actually skip to combat rating 100, they'll probably have a heart attack. If this is your first character, I would strongly suggest against that. Do not skip to combat rating 100 if this is your first character. But it's your choice. If you decide to do that and they do give you that option, then the choice is yours. For the CR level boost to combat rating 333, you do see the little marketplace icon in the corner, so you will have to pay for that boost. It is 50 bucks. We do get a free combat rating level boost in January for the DC Universe Online anniversary. So sadly, if you do not want to spend 50 bucks to skip the combat rating level 333, you will have to wait for next January. Although next January, the combat rating skip will probably be 340. We're gonna have to wait and see for that. You can decide to say no thanks and just play. This will take you to the DCUO tutorial. Or you can decide to simply skip the tutorial, it would seem. You decide. Personally, I kind of like to play the tutorial. I've played the tutorial with more characters than I can count. If you search in my videos, you'll see that I play the tutorial a lot. Either to make a tutorial video, or because I created a lot of characters over the years, and every time I did replay the tutorial. Someone was mentioning that I'm probably the guy who played the tutorial the most in the world. It could be. So today, no skip, let's just play. So once you get in the game, it'll be a bit easier to customize the look of your character, and especially to customize the colors of your character. So here you have the 4 color swatches. Let's tweak them a little bit. And if you want to tweak it, you do have the sliders like we used to. So they did not change that just yet at this point. Maybe they'll never change it. Maybe they'll change it to be like in the character creation. We're gonna have to wait and see for that. So there we go. We've created our character to play DC Universe Online. So now we're good to go. So there we go, guys. So we do have a new character creation process in DC Universe Online. Although this here is only on the test server, it should be added to the live server in roughly 2 weeks. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. If you want to be able to go to the test server and try it out yourself, I will put a link in the description down below of where you need to go on the DCUO forums in order to be able to gain access to the test server. And I will also put a link to the DCUO forums to a thread where you can go to give your feedback about the new character creation. So there you go, guys. So we do have a new character creation system on the test server, and in a few weeks it will be added to the live server. Obviously, I will make a video about the tutorial, I'll make a video about the new slimlines, and more. We shall see.